Hey everybody, and welcome back to day 3 of Rise of the Empire. As we get further into Rise, it's going to be harder and harder to do each and every battle. And I thought about maybe waiting on doing day 3, but I kind of came to the realization that most guilds, most players, the people most likely to be looking at this video, probably at this stage, if you are doing all 4 planets on day 3, you may be looking to finish up and get every single battle done. But it's also unlikely that it's going to be happening for you just yet. So we're going to do our best here. The notable exceptions that we are going to ignore right now are this Dr. Aphra node, which isn't even that hard. I just don't have my Aphra characters up that high just yet. They're all R5. And I know there's one more. Oh, the Wookie CM that is on Kashyyyk. Again, you know, I'm pretty close, but it's not a priority battle to be getting up. Now, if anyone wants to bankroll me with signal data, I will happily get all of these characters up for you in the short term. It's just very unlikely to happen right now. In the future, I will update this, you know, as we progress, but I do think that it'll be a resource that is useful for the majority of players. Now, as we get to day 4, I keep saying 4, it's Thursday, and that makes sense because it's 6 in the morning. As we get to day 3, I'm less concerned about the idea of which planet I tackle first, because our bonuses right now, you know, we're far enough away. Something that did happen here on Zeffo, 2 of our guild members platooned a little bit too aggressively, and now we're at a 2 of 6 instead of our normal 0 of 6. So that will help a little bit, but typically on auto, the computer doesn't do much about that, so we should be okay. We're actually going to start here on Zeffo, just because I know we can do all of the combats. We shouldn't have too much problems with it. It's pretty restrictive in terms of what you can or can't do. So we have Negotiator up, right? Negotiator it's a non-negotiable. There's not too much. This is the lineup that I'm going to be using, and I've found that as long as I manual the first move, so as long as I AoE first, it is a fairly reliable auto. I have noticed that players who don't AoE first, right, especially if their team gets fairly low and they go for that shield first, they end up losing more times than not. So I always want to do the AoE first. Right? And the battle always looks like it's going to get a little hairy at some point, but then it turns around because I've already taken out the hardest part really of the match, which is the tank. Boom. That should take us over the edge. Nice and quick. Oh, nice. And then I try to get this done on the first day, which is the Clone Trooper Special Mission. I do this on auto. Oh, wait, day 3. Okay. With Rex 5's Arc, Echo, and Captain Rex. I have found it mostly reliable. I've lost 1 time in my tenure of doing this. I have found that a few of my guildmates have struggled to do this on auto, and then looking at their mods, you can kind of tell why. I know that this looks like crazy because these characters have 6A mods. They're not really, you know, well, oh, well, nice speed one there. And yeah, see, this one, not so much. My Rex speed-wise actually has the average for Kyber. Where is it? 299, which is the average level for most players. My fives has speed that's a little bit higher than most fives. And then you can see my Arc and my Echo are really nothing too crazy. But just to kind of give you a baseline, Echo's 249 speed, Arc is 290 speed, and then because Rex is part of a GL team, right now he's 303, which I find to be relatively low. Yeah, these are not the greatest. We'll work on those later. But the point is that modding does matter here. Now, again, I have lost this before. I can definitely see where doing this on like a semi-auto, where I am actually targeting the stunned characters, since that's the only way to kill them, may make it slightly more reliable. But, you know, I've lost once. It's not worth my effort. Bad Batch with Captain Rex also seems to work here. I have not been able to try it myself, because I do not have Bad Batch at R7. Obviously, for the 5th slot, you would take out Echo and throw, not Echo, Omega, and you would throw in Captain Rex. There we go. Yeah, and, you know, especially... if this was on manual, I probably would not have used aerial assault there and just opted to kill that guy, you know, more naturally. But it's fine, doesn't matter. We should be coming into here with aerial assault not too long in the future. I don't necessarily need to target Jedi General Chada, I don't know. But we're gonna do it just to speed up the battle. And it looks like this is, you know, a not too difficult win for us, especially with Padawan Marzipan getting constant dazes and being alone. Forever alone. Easy. Another set of, what, get 2? Is it get 2 or is it get 3? I don't know, but it helps. What is it? Get 2. Beautiful. Unaligned Force users. We'll do the Unaligned Force users battle next. This is a nice battle. You lose it every once in a while. The important things that make this go are Rey, Ben, and Commander Ahsoka. I'm not saying that Seer and Jedi Training Rey are not important. They 100% are. But what I am saying is that it's going to be very, very, very difficult to do this without Cat and Bones. Ben does help the team survive pretty considerably. We do have on our Territory Battles library a few instances of Ben. You know what? We're going to put this, even though we normally wouldn't have this on day one. We do have some instances of winning this battle even without Ben. The battle is much less reliable. There we go. We're going to do a little bit of targeting here. We'll say that this is mostly an auto, though I generally do full auto it. Not that it's going to matter. There's so many taunts going around that I'm never going to hit the guy that I want to hit. Nice. We got at least one of the purge troopers down. Yeah. See, everybody's got a tiff. Everybody has a taunt. Nobody has a taunt. Which is not true, because they all taunt at different times and they all piss me off at different times. That was not cool, probe droid. Not cool at all. Oh, well, that's annoying. And the infamous ATST. Those Ray ults. Once you get here, it's not too difficult. You can kind of see just because Ray's AoE does not get split among different attackers. She does considerable damage with her ult. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, interesting. The fleet mission does not count as a combat mission. We're going to move into the open CM here. Now, I use the Gungans. The Gungans just work so beautifully. It is important that you have some degree of stun for this battle. A CLS, and again, you know, I said this in the last two videos, but the Captain Tarple's Omicron is really what makes this work. Without that Omicron, this just does not work at all. I have seen and I have tested Commander Luke Skywalker also working here. I don't prefer it just because my Commander Luke Skywalker team, while modded fairly well, is not modded amazing, and I personally can't use I think it's not Chewbacca. Is it Chewbacca? Yeah, I think my Chewbacca is still R6. So there's kind of that unreliable nature of not having guard in my matches. I don't even remember who I used as the 5th. It worked, not super great, and it heavily relies on, you know, your stunner like Han Solo being able to survive, because these, not these bots, the bots in the next portion of the battle can't be killed unless they're stunned. We will do some mild targeting here just for the sake of time. It doesn't really matter, if we're completely honest. Boom. Alright, we're gonna... okay, we'll leave the target up. I was gonna target someone else to get them low. But it seems the game is really insistent on me killing this guy. So we will keep that going. Yeah, and I guess with the death mark, the game really just wants me to kill the Ilarum Tomb Guard. Just a matter of waiting for those stuns to happen at this point, as I build stacks and stacks and stacks on my shield generator. This is the round that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. Some people started unsubscribing because they hate my guts. And we'll just, I don't know, look at the internet. Wow, look, that went much faster than I thought. Now this one is going to get a little decisive. I do have the lead Omicron, which makes this mission a lot easier than it would be for other people. The second Omicron, the whirlwind wind, the windmill defense one. No, which one? Windmill slam? Yeah. It helps. It's not some super crazy I win button for this. I personally elect to use my strong Jedi here with Cal Kestis. And the reason that I do that is I know my guild can max the points that we are not preloading today, right? So we're preloading Zeffo, which I don't think I mentioned before. However, it is worth more points than a traditional day 3 CM, right? So it will help us with our preload going into day 4, and days 3 to 6 are just really important for us. I probably could take out one or the other of these two guys here. And the only reason I really have Bastilla Shan in here is that I want to see if I can utilize my Galactic Republic elsewhere and limit their exposure and their use. And she just happens to be R7, right? Who else do we have here? Let us take out... I want to take out General Skywalker. And I want to throw in... Who won't I use otherwise? Let's throw in... Hermit... Well, you know what? Let me just double check something first. Make sure all my platoons are done. Okay, they are. So we're going to come back in here. We are going to take out General Skywalker. We are going to throw in Hermit Yoda instead. My hope is that I will be able to use that General Skywalker somewhere else, whereas Hermit Yoda is very unlikely to see use. I will tell you that this mission is obviously much easier on manual because Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is just really crappy at using his moves efficiently. So we're getting 5 stacks constantly instead of the 10 that I would normally like. On day 4, when we are building platoons here, if I am at my computer, I will sometimes pause the battle halfway through to kind of get more of this boon on other characters. We honestly shouldn't need it here, so I'm not going to worry about it. I hate this probe droid mechanic that is constantly on like every light side planet. It's annoying. The interesting thing about Jedi Knight Cal here is that he doesn't actually need a Jedi team to work. He just needs light side allies. However, I have found that you want them to be on the stronger side. Some players say that you can use basically anything with him, especially if you have the lead Omicron. I'm not saying that that is incorrect. It's just I have not found it to be the wisest use of my resources. Nice. This should be a basically, pretty easy match at this point. Just a long one because of protection up. There we go. Boom. Done. So that's Zeffo. And we did have 2 platoons active, but I don't think that they help as much as you think you do, because if you go back and watch that, you'll see that, the computer doesn't really use it on auto. We're going to shift over to Dathomir here. The platoons are useless for Dathomir. I have players in my guild who will be like, oh, I gotta wait for platoons can't you guys get the last character in? And guys, like it doesn't, it's not even active, right? This is for the Death Star. Is Death Star Planet 6? Yeah, the Death Star fleet mission, which better be like a Death Star run or something. I start with the Marin special mission, and I do this old DACA lead. I have found when all of my characters were R7 and I did not have DACA properly modded for like full on health. I could even put health here, but I think the tenacity works just fine. I found that I could do this easily, but not on auto. Now with her really modded to survive that wave 2 AoE from Dash, I don't think I have lost this battle on auto in probably over a year. I did lose it maybe about 2 months ago when trying to do Great Mothers. But I was a dumbass and I, for some reason, put old DACA in that team. It seemed to almost work. Fat Phil messaged me today that he did beat it with Great Mothers. I know it can be beaten with Great Mother. You just need a Great Mothers team, which I did not fully have. It's just a nice amount of, again, I think it's get 2 for my guild that they just consistently get. You just have to wait for, there's really one of two conditions where you win this, and that is number one, you just get lucky with these plague stacks all hitting right around the same time. And number two is you get enough deaths where Asajj Ventress just really stacks up and then uses her AoE. So sometimes this is a very fast match. Sometimes this is a very long match. Normally I am away from my phone when it happens and I don't even really pay attention to it. One thing that you do want to be careful of once we get into P2 is, again, because of Dash's AoE hitting just so disgustingly hard, if DACA doesn't survive, you're very unlikely to beat the level. The nice thing is that once you get a few deaths in, DACA will never die again, right? She'll have so much health built up that it's not something that you have to worry about long term. All right, come on, guys. Let's get going. Ugh, so close. This is so much fun to watch. These special missions don't respect my time. We just keep on going until everything's done. Ooh, oh, there we go. Beautiful. No. All right, we've got a Daze on DACA, which is, it's not the worst deal in the world. It's not necessarily something that we want, obviously. Ooh, okay. That was timed very nicely to work out what we wanted. That could have been scary. You can see those auxiliary heals from everybody are very useful. And this one, it doesn't take as much time just because there's not as much like protection up or tenacity. So those plagues spread around a little bit more than they would spread in other levels. Now, if I were a smart man, what I'd be doing is I'd be spreading around attacks, because you notice they don't revive at full health. So if you spread around the attacks a little bit, you can try to align them all to die towards the end of a revive wave. It's not actually about being smart or dumb. It's just really about showcasing that this team can do it more than anything else, even if it takes, you know, a little bit of time. It just takes a little patience, takes a little time, a little perseverance, and a little uphill climb. You might not think it's worth it, and they'll begin to doubt, but it's the right way to get Marin's love. How many Broadway songs can we reference in Day 3? The world may never know. Is this the one? Is this... I hate Dathomir, and you hate Dathomir, and we hate Dathomir. Okay, we're done. So for these battles, there's a couple things that work. You know, this is Empire, and we'll talk about the other two in a minute, but for the Empire SM, you know, Vader blocks off revives when he's in ult, so it does go generally pretty fast. I don't think I would recommend this if you weren't using an Empire, if you weren't using an LV squad. Just because, you know, characters like Pop-Up Help you're gonna use in different squads, like your C squad for the most part. Just gotta get him to ult. Which, I mean, with the revives, even if he died there, wouldn't have been the worst thing. It just would have prolonged our match a little bit. Come on, Vader. There we go. This is where things start to die, and we don't have to worry anymore. Now, for the other two battles on Dathomir, I find using C works really well, but you need to use Pop-Up Help lead because C lead prevents revives of the of your characters. And I've definitely made that mistake before I started to use specific sets. If you have Bane, it is a very reliable auto. If you don't have Bane, it's mostly reliable. However, you need to play the match a very, very specific way, and that is using auto basic for like 10 minutes to make sure C can get to ult, and then hitting auto at that point. It's a pain in the butt. Once you have Bane, you can just hit auto and walk away, which is really nice. We're also going to be using SLKR. Now, SLKR, again, is a character who, in the past, I did not like for this area of the game. I did not find him to be viable here. However, now with Dark Ray, I find it to be a very reliable auto. I've done it on multiple different people's accounts just to test it in the short term. I've never liked SLKR because if yours is only R7, he does, believe it or not, get killed very, very, very easily, which is obviously something that we want to ignore. Who else are we using? We are going to be using the C thing here. I like to throw him with tanks, right? Again, Pop-Up Help lead. I have also seen, let's actually check the TB library, because I know I've seen Trenchwind here also. So let's see, Dathomir. I know you can't see this right now. A lot of SLKR, Admiral Trench with basically his normal friends, especially Watt. And Third Sister I have used here successfully multiple times. It's not the most reliable thing in the world, so I've been avoiding using it lately. Well, actually, what I should say is my guild now does Tatooine in one day, so on day 3 I need to use the Inquisitors on the Reva special mission anyway. But in the past, I had tried to limit my use of it just because it wasn't working as much or as reliably as I wanted it to work. Now, SLKR does limit revives on his turn, which is super nice, and makes this a lot easier and a lot quicker. All right. The one thing, I said this yesterday with SLKR, is that because SLKR's AI is stupid, he generally does not ramp as well. But you can see with Dark Ray, he gets what he needs to get done. All right, we have one more here, and I'm actually going to pull a little bit of an audible. This would be the team that I normally use. But I did notice that I'm not using my Enoch squad at all, right? So we are going to put together an Enoch squad and try that instead, right? With these guys. Once again, Dark Trooper is my only R8 here. We're going to say default for now. And we're going to throw this in here. Most of my guys are going to revive, right? Which is nice. Dark Trooper, obviously, because he's a stacked droid, will not revive. And that's okay. It's fine. We're not going to need him. But we are going to basically rely on our characters dying as much as possible. And if we can, we're going to try to kill this zombie a bunch of times in a row so that it'll stop reviving overall, right? It'll run out of its revives, it'll be set to 0, and it will not join his friends, which it looks like we managed to do pretty quickly. This is definitely one where, you know, the damage does not stack as much as you maybe want it to, so I would definitely recommend a semi-auto just to speed things up. But, you know, and I've said this before, if you're walking away from your phone for a little while, it doesn't really matter at that point. Beautiful. I was worried there. I was like, oh, they're gonna revive and I'm gonna get mad. Once again, we're gonna try to get rid of this zombie. On Dathomir, they defy gravity. These stupid witches are defying gravity. The Rancor's got them down. Having delusions of grandeur. Marin's done accepting limits because others tell her so. Build up stacks of blight so the enemy team doesn't go. Beautiful. Look at that. We're done. We're going to go for Daka first, just to kind of make sure that she does not overstimulate. Over get stacks, whatever you want to call it. Nice. Okay, this maybe will work for us. Oh, that would have been beautiful right there. Did we just get an errant crit? And it wouldn't have mattered with that crit because Enoch would have, I believe, revived, if I remember correctly. All right, so again, we are going to ignore the Aphra node just because I don't have them built up. And we will move over to Tatooine. Tatooine is actually one of the easiest planets. And while we do this Executor mission, we will talk about some of the teams that I've seen do this. As always, just to kind of show you, we are going to take P1 out of there and just throw this guy in here and get this started. So Tatooine's modifier is really interesting because it builds up dots, and those dots will end up killing the enemy team. So if we go over to the library right now and we look at the open CMs, I have wins with Sears team winning, I have wins with Trench's team winning, wins with Phoenix with Captain Rex, Night Sisters winning, Inquisitors winning. Not that you would want to use Inquisitors on a normal node. On the Fennec node, I've used Ray here and all of the Rays. I have used General Grievous here before. CLS works here. Sith Empire works here. Obviously, Tuskens work here because if you have a good Tusken team, they are immune to dots. Basically, any team where you're going to take reduced % health damage, or any team that can cleanse like constantly, a Mon Mothma team would work here. You're going to have no problem on Tatooine. In fact, Jabba's node, the first time I did the Jabba node here, I had Jabba, I didn't have the alt. I did not have the team fully built up yet. I threw him with a bunch of randos. It was literally just Jabba left at that point. And he beats the battle on his own, which is just insane to me. You know, you'll see on the enemy team, because he's constantly dispelling and he has reduced health damage, the enemy team is just going to build up so many stacks of these dots. With this, I mean, it comes down to, are they going to kill themselves or am I going to kill them? And, you know, it really could go either way, completely honestly. The platoons don't really matter for Tatooine, except for the Reva special mission. It is beatable without platoons. There are definitely strategies without platoons. Having platoons, see, the last guy killed himself. Having platoons does make it easier. I've never waited for platoons for the regular battles here. Even a year ago, even a year and a half ago, you know, when we had much more limited teams to work with, it works. Boom. I'm done accepting limits. Alright, let's go. We have a 5 character. Let's see what's up here. What did we set for here? We're going to select squad. We are going to rename so I don't forget. And let's call this... let's actually not call this Tat Open. Let's call this Tat and... or NS Fennec. And let's take out... Who do we take out? Let's take out... I feel like, honestly, Bane might be the weak link here. Let's take out Bane. Bane. Throw Fennec in there. Fennec. No, oh wait, no, we want to select squad. We want to NS Fennec. Bounty Hunters. Fennec. Where is Fennec? Confirm squad. And I know that this is super exciting to watch. We'll move this one up. But hopefully it shows you how to manage your TB a little bit better. Okay, where is it? There it is. So we're gonna call this DS open. Done. Make sure we're on the Fennec mission. We are going to do this with the... let's do it with Sith lead. Sith Emperor, Sith. Yeah, let's actually do it this way. Sith Emperor, Darth Bane. Let's do it that way. Again, Pop-Up Help lead is better for Dathomir because of all of the revives, but we don't need the revives here, so... shouldn't be a problem. Normally I wouldn't want to kill characters that have linked because then I'm not getting my ult charge correctly. I don't think it's going to matter, to be completely honest. I think this is going to be a very fast match. Not too worried about it. I'm actually surprised that Fennec is even still alive. She almost always dies here. But speaking of, Bossk lead works here really well if you have a strong Bossk lead. Bossk. Because of the way he dispels. So this is a good option node for him if you're using like Bossk, Boba Fett, Fennec, maybe Grief Karga for some extra dispels if you're not platooning him. Obviously, we want to avoid using Mandalore characters. Boom. All right, we're going to do that from now on. And we have one more open CM left. Now, this is where we kind of get tough. Who should we use? You know what? I want to before... Galactic Republic. Let's try Galactic Republic. We have the boys. We need R2 for the next thing. Padme's not needed anywhere, right? We're not using Padme anywhere. Yeah, we're not using Padme. And let's say... am I using C-3PO? This should work. We're gonna try it. This should work pretty well. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid using Jedi. Because there is that one last CM on the other side that is going to use Jedi. And I don't want to be in a position where we can't even attempt it. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat that one just because of Zeffo being open. But we're going to keep our options open. Another option here could have been General Grievous, but I do know that I platooned my Watt, and even though Grievous himself should be good, you know, I'd want to dispel and try to keep alive the rest of the team to prolong them. So we're not gonna consider him an option just for today. We could have also probably done Sith Empire here, and just done C Bane, and random Sith. That almost certainly would have still worked. I might even try that next time, just for the hell of it. I know that this team, when properly built out, will do the open CM and Kashyyyk, but I have Leia for that, so it's kind of an irrelevant thing. Alright, and let's go to this Reva SM. Let's switch around a few things. We want, where is it? NS Finnick, Sith, 1, 2, and we'll go 1, 2, confirm squad. Now, I used to remod for this before I had Third Sister. My Inquisitors, you know, outside of these two, are not amazingly modded. I have been working on them. Marak, though, with his Omicron, does trivialize the battle, and this is one of the reasons that I got the Omicron, even though I don't need Third Sister anymore. Just that quality of life to not have to play this battle on manual constantly has made my life so much better during TB that I, even outside of the other CMs I've already shown you that we can beat, just find it so amazingly worth it. I probably could, you know, do it without him and throw, you know, just deal with the mission otherwise, but to me, that's not worth it. Bam special mission, we're going to want to throw IG-12 and Grogu in here. I have seen some people do pause. I've never tried it with pause. The mission itself is relatively easy, however, it is also unpredictable. Every once in a while, the Krayt Dragon, man, I'm talking like I'm from Boston today. The Krayt Dragon will just go bonkers. It'll do the stupidest things coming out of the gate. It'll like eat someone and swallow right away. It'll eat 2 characters back to back. Things that I don't even think should be happening at all, but they sometimes do. And when those things happen, there really isn't much that I can do about it. What I do try to do is get this guy, get one of these bombs down pretty low to start, so that when I do need to dispel, I have a dispel option right out of the gate. Right, uh-oh, there. Boom, we're dispelled, we don't have to worry. Now, for the most part, this mission can be completed, you know, without really even knowing much about the mission at all. You know, but again, sometimes just something stupid happens. Like, you know, the dragon take 14 turns in a row. And you lose like 10% of the time. It is definitely infuriating, but because the mission is easier than the Zeffo one, you know, 2 or 3 losses, 3 or 4 losses on your guild's plate is not that big a deal. All right, so we got one more here. Kashyyyk, We do want to max this. We are also not doing this Saw special mission. I will tell you though that with Luthen it is autoable, and I do eventually want to get both Saw and Saw and Luthen high enough to do this. I don't have the ability or the time to do it right now. Formations is for fleets, so yes, it will be helpful for this fleet mission. Typically, once again, I don't wait. So, I mean, today we'll wait, or today we waited. But it's certainly not a necessity. We are going to start by trying to take out Sith, hope for exactly what we got there. And of course we don't take out the ties. Why would we take out the ties? Don't it always seem to go that we don't take out the TIE fighters? No. They paved Kashyyyk and put up a parking lot. Alright, let's go with this. I just like getting these TIE fighters out of the way. They paved Kashyyyk and put up a parking lot. You know, we're almost to ult, so this shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'm gonna resist using formations on purpose. Just to kind of like say, hey, look, you don't need formations for this. But obviously, if you have formations available to you, I would recommend using it. And at this point, we have our tank left. I'm going to throw it on auto. I know formations is probably going to get used, but I should, at this juncture, hopefully have convinced you, oh, it's not actually that necessary to the battle. All right. Beautiful. Okay, and we really only have 2 more battles left. So this is our open CM. We are going to throw in Leia. I like to put in an extra, a tank with Leia. Just because this can get slightly hairy, especially against Mara Jade. They just stack damage on damage. I've maybe lost the battle 1 time. I honestly don't even remember. That's how long ago it happened, if it's happened. Pathfinder happens to be one of my platoons for day 4, so it is nice that I have a higher level one. It's certainly not a necessity. You can throw any number of relic rebel tanks in there, but I have done it without a tank as well. And we're gonna just try to get Mara Jade out. Because of that. No matter what happens at this point, we should be good. See, this is why Pathfinder is really great for this. Because of those constant buffs, just keeps him coming up and up and up. Beautiful. We have one more CM left. Now, I'm not going to lie to you that this is one. The battle itself is not hard, and I used to do it with Jedi Master Luke. I obviously can't do it with Jedi Master Luke anymore. Is this an open CM? I thought it was a Jedi CM. Oh, wow. That actually opens up the options more than I thought. Without Cat, doing this with Galactic Republic and it not being the Quadme squad, I thought this was a Jedi CM. I probably would have saved Quadme for this because I know that Quadme can do it. I am going to play this on manual, and I will be honest that I am going to be hoping for 1 out of 2. And if I get the 1 out of 2, I'm going to be happy. In the future, you know, tomorrow, next week, whatever it is, I will more than likely end up doing this battle with Quadme and throwing one of those other options at Tatooine. And it just keeps stacking on gas. Recon Trooper. One of 2 should be easy. It would be nice if this went my way for once. And I'm gonna try to stay out of ult and start the next match with ult if possible. I should be able to do that. Get you a little bit of healing there. Good, back into green. Just try not to burn any new cooldowns. All right, and we're gonna start in ult, start with our mastery a little bit higher. Should help us a little bit. Yeah. This Imperial officer does love to do tons of damage. This is why Cat just makes it so much easier. All right, well, that's a loss. I kind of knew that was going to be a loss. We got our 1 for 2. Where are we now? Obviously, I'm pretty low in the territory battle rankings. I could not deploy in phase 1, and I'm not deployed yet. But as of right now, we're doing pretty good. 66 out of 77 for day 3. I am happy with that. We've done most of them. I hope that this, does help some people. We will definitely update our day 3 as some of these things become more available, though I do think that it will be useful to most of the players that need help in day 3. Feel free to send your vaults my way, and I will use them for signal data. But with that said, everybody, have a great day and great rest of your TV. Peace out.